Yo, it's Ryan, and this might be a weird video because I started writing this track 2 days ago when I was sick, and then I uploaded like more of me working on it, but I had already had like a lot of stuff done, and when I uploaded that other video, I wasn't talking because I was still sick and my voice sounded like garbage. So I thought I'd make a quick like recap or catch up video for this track just to like in case anybody is wondering what's going on, they get caught up before I continue. um I hope this isn't a dumb idea. I hope it helps somebody because like I've got 24 channels of just stuff and didn't explain any of it. So yeah, I hope this helps. So first thing we've got is these guitars. And for the guitar, I've got a tuner, obviously, just to tune. And then I'm using bias effects. It's going to take a second to load, but right here, come on. I'm using a preset I found on ToneCloud, called John Mayerish and More. It's one of the best clean sounds I've found out of bias, personally. And I'm a huge fan of John Mayer, so that name totally baited me in. And I'm really glad I downloaded it because I use it all the time, like when I'm sitting here and practicing and everything. So I've got the two guitars, one panned hard right, one panned hard left. They're both being sent pretty heavily into both the reverb and the delay channels, or sends rather. And that's about it. I've got an EQ on the entire thing just so I don't have to like EQ every single one individually. And then I've got a guitar center because I can't decide if this is going to be like a jam track where I kind of just give it a bluesy solo over top, or if I'm going to find vocals, or if it's just going to be super ambient and like chilled out with none of that. So only time will tell for that. If I can find vocals, it'll probably have vocals because I like vocals. So then in the synths, we've got a sub, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a sine wave and massive with a telly tube, a little bit of distortion. That's it. And I'm crushing the lows pretty hard with a compressor. Then we've got this reverse lead right here. And that's the thing I do when I take the lead sound, I play one note with a ton of reverb on it and record it and then reverse it. That's it. And I've got another one over here, but it's an octave up. Or rather, that's the original one, and this is an octave down. But this leads into the ARP playing. And this is another massive, and this has the three oscillators going. It's got the mellifont with these settings. I hate like explaining massive patches that don't have a ton going on, because it's just like, look at this and copy it. But mellifont, then basically a square wave at about like 60 volume, and then an octave up I've got a saw wave with turned down just a little bit. It's got delay on it, and it's also got I've got reverb on in massive. It's got delay out of massive, and then it's getting auto panned to kind of swirl around in your ears. And then it goes into this, I guess we'll call it the drop. this stab comes in right here. And it's a silent patch. It's basically just saw waves. One's an octave up with a phaser on it. That's about it. I'm not great with silent. I don't know why I bought it, to be honest. So sometimes I'll just use it for simple stuff like this just to justify it to myself. So yeah. And then EQ taking out the lows. And we've got this other stab, which was with Serum, which is my favorite synth ever. So we've got my favorite and then my like mistake of a child playing the lead. And this is just 16 voices on 2 oscillators. One's an octave up, one's 2 octaves up, and then this sort of envelope to like make it a pluck with delay, compressor, reverb. We've got this marimba thing, which it's actually just like a marimba getting just so compressed that it's like ridiculous. It's getting overdriven a little bit, and it's got a ton of reverb, and you're getting this sort of sound. If you've ever listened to Eden, especially XO, you'll know what kind of sound I was going for and how terribly I missed it. But this works too. And then I pair it with his bell. His bell is just a Serum with compressor reverb and basic shapes. It's a square wave and a sine wave, ton of voices, remap on this with lowered sustain and some release. That's about it. Yeah, compressor reverb. And the ARP is going as well. I've got sidechain input, which is just like the kick, but used for sidechain. And I've got on the synth bus, I've got this compressor. I also had one on the guitar. The guitar one is harder than the synth one, because that was just a taste. Real fast, I've got Superior Drummer going for real drums. And fills like this. And then just cymbal hits. Really really putting that plug into work. Yeah. So you got that, and then we've got this Dust and Dirt down here, which I use a ton, so you've probably heard me talk about this before if you've been around for any time at all. It's just this ambient noise and crackle that I've got going through the entire thing. Then I've got a pretty basic like kick, a pretty basic drum setup, honestly. Compress the kick a little with a little bit of an EQ, this snap and snare and other snare. It's just reverb. I've got this like 808 over here. I've got a hi-hat, which like it's just a hi-hat. And I've got a ride with just some reverb on it. And that's about it. I just spent 10 minutes explaining what everything was. I don't know if I'll be able to get like an actual track from scratch out for this today, but I'll definitely try. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to go over it because I didn't talk or explain anything in the original or in that first track from scratch. So hope this was helpful. Subscribe to see me work on this track some more in the future, probably tomorrow or later today. Comment any questions. Be sure to like the video and all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.